I don't know why. Why is her bed in front of the window? I don't get it.
I don't
I
know.
might have to post this photo and be like, "Am I being stupid? Like, why is her bed? Why she can't shut the windows?" I'll probably get hate. I probably won't post it. I'm probably not gonna post anything.
Maybe it's so she can be visited by Elphaba, and then they could sing together.
And you'll find me. Oh, look to the western skies.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to this, it's nerdy and nice. Thanks for being with us today. We have a good show for you. I'm John. That is Lacey, as always. And yeah, we're here to talk to you about the latest trailers that have come out, some movie, TV news, and also reviews and thoughts on what we've been watching lately. And as always, we want to hear from all of you in the comments on YouTube. If you're watching this, you're watching it on the TRB YouTube channel. So thank you for that. Make sure you subscribe to that for free. And then also you can get Nerdy and Nice on your favorite podcast apps, Apple, Spotify, where have you. And if it has a rating system, please shoot us 5 stars. That helps us show up in searches, allows more people to find the show. And that is the goal, to get more people into what we got going on here. But before we get into our warm-up, Lacey, how are you? How are the fall activities treating you after your
I'm good,
reveal last
thank
week?
you.
Yeah,
Yeah. So for those of you that didn't listen to TRB, first of all, go watch it and listen
I thought
to
you were gonna
it.
say something else.
No. F you, no.
First of all, for those of you who didn't watch TRB, go.
No, go listen and watch it. It's important. But I am a big fall person. I love fall. I love like fall fairs. I love fall weather. I love apple flavored things. I used to be really into pumpkin flavored stuff. I've kind of come off that. It's like too much now. Pumpkins and everything. I do love a good pumpkin pie. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I went apple picking and it was glorious. And I think it was like something stupid, like 22 pounds of apples or something like that.
22 pounds? How many apples is that?
Like 2 big bags. It was a lot. I made 3 pies and 2 apple crisps. One of the pies, I'm proud to say, for the first time, I made a latticed crust, which was it was okay for my first one. It was
Who
alright.
ate all these pies?
So I every year when I go apple picking, I make the pies and then I freeze 2 pies, one for Thanksgiving, one for Christmas, so they're already made. The one why are you laughing?
That's some wild stuff. I'm at Costco the day before getting like a Mrs. Smith's. That's me.
No, I love hand making. I'm like really into baking. I love baking. Um, the apple crisp, one of them I froze, one of them we pretty much ate through, and then the apple pie I gave some to our neighbors, I gave some to my parents, and then I had a couple pieces myself of the apple pie. It was very good. I was very proud of myself. It was the first apple pie I've ever made.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Guess. All right.
Why you want some apple pie?
Well, you
You're
didn't
gonna have
give
to
me my
wait till
pizza pie,
Thanksgiving
so
because
guess
it's
I'll get
frozen.
the apple pie. All right. Am I coming over for Thanksgiving now? Is that a thing? Should I tell my family?
Sorry, guys. Can't
I
give me.
just
You know what?
rolling up to the Gilleran SHAH house.
We do obviously like a family Thanksgiving, but I always do a second one the next day. So we have leftovers.
Very good.
Last year, I'm very proud of myself. Now we're off on a tangent. Very proud of myself. I did a full Thanksgiving dinner in 90 minutes.
Would you use the microwave?
No, oven. So I did turkey, I did mashed potatoes, I did sweet potatoes, I did stuffing. Yeah, I did gravy, everything in 90 minutes. I was like
Very
racing
good.
myself because I'm a crazy person.
That sounds a little crazy, but that's all right.
I was
That
like,
is
how
okay.
fast can I do this? I did it in 90 minutes.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what percentage of the world celebrates Christmas, but I would imagine as of today, which is September 29th,
Mm-hmm.
the amount of people that have their homemade Christmas pie in their freezer ready for Christmas is probably, you can count them on a hand. And you're probably one of those people.
Okay. First of
I
all,
assume. Just saying.
Pie crusts were on sale this week at the grocery store. I don't know if people know this. Pie crust for a double pie crust, it's like 5 something. It was
What
only
do you mean
3 something.
when you say groceries? What do you mean? Is that a new term? What is that?
Like the grocery store.
I know.
Are you making fun of me again?
No, I'm making fun of an elected official that thought groceries was a newer word earlier this year.
Oh. No, but
But
I make my stuff in advance because I don't want the food to go bad. So apples go bad over time. So I get them when they're right and they're fresh. I slice them up. I make the pies. I freeze the pies so the apple and everything stays fresh. And then when it's time to cook them, I cook them that day. So it's a
you
fresh made pie.
thaw the pie,
Yeah. I'm going to a
bake
cooking
the
class
pie.
this week. I'm like really excited about it to make caramels and pumpkin sammies. So we
What's
went on
all right?
a total tangent, but I really like cooking. I got to
Welcome
get
to
off
Nerdy and
gardening now
Nice.
that we're into the fall stuff. So
Nerdy, nice, and pumpkin spice is apparently what we're doing here. But we have a lot to get into. Before we do, we touched on Thursday the whole Jimmy Kimmel debacle with the government pressuring the other part of the government to pressure the companies to suspend him, and they did, and then he came back, and reports just came out as of us recording this that it was the highest watched episode of Jimmy Kimmel ever with 6.8 million viewers, and that's with some markets blacking it out still with certain subsidiaries or however that works. But he's back, so things seem to be okay for now. And Disney thought it was a good idea to be like, we're sorry. We're sorry. We're sorry. So please accept our apologies by accepting a price increase on your Disney Plus subscription when you come back. What
which
are they
Jimmy Kimmel
thinking?
did make a joke. He said, "I have a statement to read from Disney." He pulls out a piece of paper and he goes, "Here's how to reactivate your Disney Plus account."
Oh, jeez Louise. Disney,
Yeah.
stop
So
doing that stuff. We like you. We love you. We grew up with you. Please start making smarter decisions, please.
they're all doing it though. They're following suit because Apple, their app used to be, I think it was what, $6.99, $7.99 or something like that. It's now $10.99. Peacock was $5.99. That is now $9.99. They're all doing it. So they're all just following suit that like, oh, well, this guy's raising his price, then I'm raising his price, which my response is, why? You're not offering anything new. And not only that, you're adding more ads to stuff.
I have to get rid of something. I don't know what. But anyway,
Consolidate.
we're here to talk about some stuff, and some of the stuff we're talking about is appearing on some of those streaming franchises or streaming platforms. But let's start things off with trailers.
Oh God, I love that movie.
Yes.
All right. We have 3 trailers this week. We have 2 movies and a highly anticipated conclusion to one of the most popular streaming series in the history of the world. First, we'll kick it off with The Bride. Sophomore director Maggie Gyllenhaal takes her crack at her second movie. It stars Christian Bale and Jessie Buckley. Hits theaters March 6th. It's about the bride of Frankenstein. I am not, Lacey, I am no expert on classic horror and canon and how these stories are supposed to be told. This seems like obviously a modern take with some twists that accompany it. But are you familiar with old horror, like the classics, like Mummy, Frankenstein, all that stuff, or not so much?
I am not. I thought that's what it meant by the bride was the woman with the white in her hair. That's like the
Mm-hmm.
bride of Frankenstein, which is a Universal character,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
Universal, Warner Brother. Is it Warner Brother? It's Warner Brothers. But they have it at the Universal parks, just like Harry Potter is.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
So,
which they're
yeah.
going
What?
into the new theme park that they just did, Epic Universe, has a whole Frankenstein area.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what'd you make of this trailer? Is it a good trailer? And are you interested in the movie?
The trailer it comes across very indie to me, like the way that it's presented and cut is very like this isn't a mainstream film, even though it's coming from Warner Brothers. Um, I didn't recognize Christian Bale at first. Like I didn't know it was him until they said it was him, and
He's
then they
like,
show his face.
yes.
Yeah, I didn't know. Uh, Jesse Buckley, I don't know who that is. I call me dumb. I have no idea who this person is. Is their first movie? Is it up and coming person? I've never heard of this person.
How do you not know Jesse Buckley?
Are you lying? Because you're looking her up right now.
Yes.
I did see Jake Gyllenhaal make an appearance in the trailer, and they tried to do the whole edgy thing with the big text font typography throughout the trailer, the blood and ink spills, and swearing in the trailer. They tried to be like, "Look, we're edgy, yeah, death and killing, yeah."
Right.
Is this my thing? No, if we're being honest with
Okay.
ourselves. Does it look cool? Sure. It looks like it's shot well. It looks the lighting looks great. We talked about lighting recently on TRB and people's reactions to the Mando trailer. Go watch it if you haven't already. Lighting is important, and I think this film is lit very well. It has to be because it's like black and white. So
Yeah. So Jesse Buckley was in Maggie Gyllenhaal's only other directed movie, and it got her an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. The movie was The Lost Daughter. So that's that connection. She obviously liked working with her, so that's all that takes sometimes. And then you have Christian Bale, who loves getting lost in roles. He loves the idea of body transformation, makeup, all that stuff. And I did hear that he had them actually stitch things into his head and put bolts into his neck in real life. So he's very dedicated. He's
are you
super
being
excited.
serious? Stop.
Am I being serious that Christian Bale has bolts in his neck? No,
Then
I'm not
why
being
would you
serious.
say that?
Because he's that guy. He's always like, Christian Bale gained 700 pounds to like if Christian Bale was like cast in Star Wars to play a Hutt, he would gain like 700 pounds for the role.
Didn't they
Like that's just
tell him a bunch like, "Hey, stop doing this. You're like hurting yourself."
yeah. I think they did because the Machinist. Like nowadays, like Captain
Oh, it was
America
the
and stuff like that.
machinist. That's what it was. It was the yeah.
They can CG you into a skinny guy like they did with Chris Evans in Captain America. But like, Christian Bale's like, no, I am doing the Gandhi diet. I am not eating anything for 8 months. And he like rolled up weighing like 130 pounds for the Machinist. And then the next movie he had to do was Batman Begins, and he had to
Batman.
weigh 220 pounds. So he had to
Right.
gain like 90 pounds. And
Ugh.
he did the political movie where he played Bush's Dick Cheney, and he like gained a bunch of weight back for that.
It
So
sounds
he's
like Renee
always
Zellweger with Bridget Jones' Diary, and then in Chicago, she had to like bounce
yeah,
between movies.
exactly. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
always doing that sort of stuff. So it's pretty wild. But here he is playing Frankenstein, and I know Christian Bale has talked about his movie choices and stuff like that, and he does have a really strong resume. Like Christian Bale is rarely in bad movies. And the fact that Gyllenhaal got Jessie Buckley, who I was not familiar with. She's an Irish actress. She's 35. I know she's very talented, but not a household name. Not yet, maybe,
Mm-mm.
even after the nomination. But I'm not a big awards guy. I'll admit that. But they loved working together. She got an Academy Award nomination for her last movie, which had like a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. So Maggie Gyllenhaal is like really shifting her career into becoming a director. I believe her brother is in this trailer, so he's going to appear in this movie too. And it also has Peter Sarsgaard, who I like. He's a really good actor. So the cast is great. And it seems like Maggie Gyllenhaal knows what she's doing behind the camera. And if Christian Bale's selection of movies is on par with his resume, then this could end up being a really good movie. So we'll see. I'm not the biggest monster movie guy in terms of those classics like Mummy, Frankenstein, stuff like that. I never really have been.
All I know is the Tom Cruise one that they made recently. They thought it was gonna like be like the reboot of The Mummy, and it flopped so
Oh,
horribly.
yeah, they were gonna do this whole Monsters Universe thing, and it just didn't work out.
It was
A
just him
rare,
running. It was just him
yeah,
running around.
yeah, exactly. A rare misfire for Tom Cruise, but looks like they're trying something new here, a modern spin on this stuff. And I'll say this: in the world we live in, with, I mean, we're going to talk about it. We always talk about it every week: sequels and franchises and all that, reboots and all that stuff. I know this is an iteration of a story, but it's a classic story, and it looks like they're putting a new artistic spin on it. It's a young director in terms of like her history in behind the camera with her second film. So I appreciate that and I applaud that. So we'll see how it does when it comes out in March. I don't know that it's a movie I'm going to go see in theaters, but it is interesting. So it is something I might watch when it hits streaming because I do love Christian Bale, and
Mhm.
I might end up being a big Jesse Buckley fan. We'll see.
All right.
Next up we have, oh, Lacey's going to be excited for this one. Wicked for Good, the sequel, the conclusion of the Wicked cinematic universe. It hits theaters
Mhm.
November 21st. Is that, I assume is that Thanksgiving weekend or a week before?
Which weekend is it?
The
November
21st. I know
the
you
21st is right before.
right before. Yeah, because you have a posted on your fridge. Take the pie out. So
Actually,
you
it's
know
my
that
daughter's
it's.
birthday, the 23rd, so that's how I
Oh,
know.
there you go. All right. What'd you give me? 4, 5, 4, right?
4.
4. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I know,
Um.
it's crazy. 4, yeah.
Well, maybe too young for little Daisy to go see Wicked in the theaters, but Lacey, I know you were all wrapped up in the hype for Wicked last year. What'd you think of the trailer for Wicked for Good? And are you as excited as you were for Wicked?
So, the funny thing is I wasn't that excited for it. Like, I never saw it on Broadway, I
You
never
watched it
saw
on
it
the
in the
plane,
theater.
right?
I watched it on the plane to Japan and cried, and then watched it, like, 2 more times because they had
She
it
was
on there.
singing. The flight attendant had to come over and tell her to stop. She was
I
singing
was
top of her
not
lungs the
say
whole
I
time.
would never. I
She
would
was like, "Come
never.
and find me."
Um, but yeah, I was definitely watching it in April and very annoyed that they weren't given the, recognition of their
Mm,
work in this film, especially Cynthia for Alphaba. She kind of got denied, which later those anonymous sources that come out in Vanity Fair were like, well, she was just kind of old to play the Wicked Witch. Like that was their reasoning.
mm.
Not that she wasn't talented, not that she didn't do a good job. It was just, oh, well, she's kind of old. It's like,
Wasn't the other
what are we
lady old
doing?
too, though? Wasn't the OG lady kind of old?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are we
Yes.
doing? Yeah.
They were like, "She's too old to be in college or something," and I was like, "Everybody needs to stop. Like, let's just go
I
on
had.
merit and,
Why
like,
can't old
talent."
people go to college now? What's that about?
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I loved it. So I'm very excited for this movie. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna see it in the theater just because of timing and, kids and stuff. If I'm able to get away, I definitely would see it in the theater, um, because I loved it. I loved the first one. I still have to get it on Blu-ray, which is now I'm remembering it. Um I think Ariana Grande is amazing in this. This is a role she was, like, meant to play. I know they say that often, but, like, genuinely, she is a huge fan of this. She saw it when she was little. She met Kristen Chenoweth when she was on Broadway, the original Glinda, and so this was, like, her role to play in life. So I hope she gets the recognition this time around as well for award
Hmm.
season. Um, but it looks really good and the songs sound great. It looks a little brighter than the first one. It had weird lighting in the first one. I don't get me started on that, but uh, it looks cool. And they're getting into more of the lore of the Wizard of Oz, which I know Ariana Grande's boyfriend, Ethan Slater, who plays Bach in this, posted some spoilers on his Instagram that people were upset about. But it's one of those things that's like, if you looked up what this story was about, you would know where it was going.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, I'm all about it. I listen to the soundtrack all the time too. I mean, the No One Mourns the Wicked has been trending nonstop all year, so we'll
Is
see.
so do these two movies encapsulate the theatrical story, or has that branched out? Like the first one was the theatrical play, and then this is a new
So
thing,
these
or
no, these 2 movies were shot at the same time. It's the Broadway play split in half.
oh, okay. So
So where
you
you
do.
have, like, an intermission is where the movie ended in the first one, I believe.
So do you get the Lion, Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Dorothy in Wicked? They're in it.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Do you
That's
want
interesting. I
spoilers?
I don't care personally. It's I'm not going to the theater to see this. If I,
Okay, skip ahead,
you know,
everybody. Like, I don't know, a minute if you don't want to hear spoilers. I'm giving you a chance to do it now. Um, Jonathan Bailey's character is the Scarecrow. He gets turned into the Scarecrow. Bach, Ethan
mm,
Slater's character, gets turned into the Tin Man. He posted
okay.
screenshots of him as the Tin Man. And then the lion that they release in the first one, Little Cub, is the lion for Dorothy. So those three
So it's not a
characters.
man lion. It's an actual lion.
It's an actual lion in this one, yeah.
So he doesn't say pull him up. Oh."
Well, I also think that because that was, the 1940s, I don't think they could get an actual lion. Whereas now they have CG, they can make it a lion.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah, I thought the trailer was really good. Visually it looks incredible. It looks like there's so much to look at when you're looking at the screen.
Yeah.
It's just every single pixel is full of something. So the CG looks outstanding. I completely agree with that. It's not my wheelhouse. I'm probably not target demo for this. Kathleen really liked it. My wife. And I don't know, like my Daisy too, she's only 4, so I don't know if it might be a little
It's
too.
really loud and dark, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's too much for her. Maybe a little later.
Yeah.
But it looks good. I'm excited for everyone who's excited for it. Not really my wheelhouse. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope everyone who's
Thanks.
liked the first one or liked the play or is just excited in general,
Yeah. This one
dig it.
goes into more of
Yeah.
like how the Wicked Witch is now seen as the bad person, even though she isn't.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's like the propaganda that they're using Glinda to pose up as a public figure to cover what the wizard really is, which obviously he's not a wizard. He's like a sales guy ish.
The phony baloney. Yeah.
Yeah, which again, Jeff Goldblum did not sell it for me. I did not like him as the wizard. Um, so this one's about the kind of dynamic between Glinda and Elphaba and like their kind of warring situation where once again Glinda's kind of going with the kind of organizations and hierarchy of how things are. And Elphaba's like, just because I have genuine power, they're treating me like the bad guy because I don't believe in treating animals poorly because they're all against
Yeah.
animals now. And then Michelle Yeoh's character makes the tornado that brings Dorothy to Oz. Like
Mm.
she can manipulate the weather. So that's like another piece. So it like works its way into the actual story of Wizard of
All
Oz.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. November 21st hits theaters. Hope everyone has a good time with it. And then our last one, big one, Stranger Things, the finale. Stranger Things 5 featurette trailer hybrid thing, but I love these behind the scenes. It's a big, chunky, hearty, um, emotional clip here, Lacey. So it's the I believe it's split up. It's Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's that they're releasing
Yep.
the
All the
remaining,
big
but they said
holidays.
it's their biggest season yet. It's their most dire season yet. Uh, all of the stakes are even higher than the very tense season 4. So it's going to be a lot to handle. I definitely have to do a rewatch of. I may skip season 3, but I don't know. But I may do. I think I have to do some sort of a rewatch to get myself back in the Stranger Things mode, back into the Upside Down. But Lacey, what do you
Mhm.
think of this featurette? I know you, like me, you also love behind the scenes featurettes and cast interviews and stuff. So, what'd you make of the effort from Stranger Things here?
I do. Per previous conversations about Stranger Things, I feel like they've really dragged this out. I'm not gonna lie. Like it just feels like so long that, like you said, I've kind of forgotten details and things that have happened that I have to go back and rewatch, which is I'm sure what they're hoping for is that people start their rewatch now to get into the final season. I'm excited to see this season, this story come to an end. I feel like they've really milked it for a decade now, so I'm excited to see the stories get tied neatly at the end. And I did get a little worried when I heard them use the word satisfied because that
What
is a
word?
word satisfied
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because I'm having PTSD as a Star Wars fan because I kept hearing that going into the Rise of Skywalker that I'd be satisfied, that all the ending's satisfying, everybody's satisfied, you're going to be satisfied. JJ said it, Daisy said it, all these people said it. So I have a little bit of a like trigger of like, oh no, like are they really satisfied? Um, or are they just like using a buzzword, which might be the case.
Mm.
But it's nice to hear them talk about how fondly they liked the experience and working together. I know there are rumors that some of the cast members don't get along anymore and like there's issues on set or whatever, but none of my business.
Who
I
cares?
do like how Winona Ryder was talking about how she gets to watch them grow up because we all collectively also watch them grow up, which was nice. I saw them playing with the game board again as they cut back to them being younger, and I had that panic that now you've brought it up of like at the end, is it them just playing the game? And I was like, oh my god, now it's like in my head that like is that the case? They did show Eddie. I noticed they showed him at one point
Mm-hmm.
doing like a bow thing that I was like, what does this mean? Um, because they don't just show clips to show clips. Like there's a purposeful use in
And the
these
locker
scenes.
that spray painted Hellfire Lives too.
Right, exactly. Um, I also found it interesting that they had Sean Levy there talking about it. I know he plays a role with the directing on this season, and he did, I think, one episode in season 4, or maybe a couple episodes. Is he doing the whole season?
No, I think he's doing a few. Yeah.
So it's interesting that no other directors talked except him. They
Well,
just
the
like
Duffer
kind of,
Brothers.
I know, but I'm saying like no other. Like,
Well,
is it just him and the Duffer Brothers, or are they using him as like, hey, this is the Deadpool guy, this is the
let
Star
me.
Wars
Yeah,
guy,
go.
this is
I'll
the
try to look it
guy?
up. Go on with your points, and I'll try to see.
What I'm saying is, I was surprised to see him talking because if it's the same kind of way that they do other shows, like we know from Star Wars, and they have multiple directors, why is he the only one getting interviewed unless they only shot the stuff on the day that he was there?
All right, so I have the info. The
Okay.
Duffer Brothers
Yeah.
are, and let's preface this. They even say it in this clip. This is their largest season yet from a budget perspective, scale perspective, and they've said multiple times each episode is going to feel like a movie.
And they're
So
moving on to Paramount right after.
yes, so I think they are still going to be involved with Stranger Things,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
their new productions are going to Paramount. Yeah, but Duffer Brothers are directing the first, second, fourth, and final episode. Uh, and Frank Darabont, Shawshank Redemption, he's directing 2 episodes,
Mhm.
and he's coming out of retirement to do that. So,
Wow.
and then Sean Levy is doing 1 episode. He usually had done 2 previously, but maybe with whatever else he had going on at the time, he could only do
Deadpool,
1.
whatever.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so that is how many episodes is that? Is that 8? Did they do 8?
I think they do 8 or 9, right?
Yeah. Well, this adds up to 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, final episode. So it's probably a 2-part finale. So it's
Mm.
probably 8 episodes. Yeah. But they're going to be long. I guarantee they're all going to be like an hour long. It's going to be like this big, gigantic final thing.
I am glad that, like, at first I was like, "Oh my god, they're really milking this. They're breaking this up," which I'm
No,
sure
yeah,
they are. I'm sure they are, honestly. I'm sure Netflix is enjoying that you're gonna stick around for a while. But at the same time, I'm also glad that they are, because going back to what you said about season 3, I really remember staying up till 3 AM watching season 3 as quickly as possible so that I wouldn't be spoiled. And
yeah,
now I get at least get a chance to not get spoiled.
yeah. I agree. I don't know how they're going to split it up, but if they're doing it in 3 shots, I think the finale. So I imagine
It's probably the
2-part
arc of the
finale.
story.
Yeah, 2-part finale is going to be on New Year's Eve, and then however they split up the other 6, whether it's 3 and 3 or what have you. But I do like that. It's gonna, especially with the length that these episodes are probably going to be, and the heaviness
Yeah.
and the amount of storylines that you need people to be able to digest and relax. So I agree. I do like that they are splitting this up. They split up part 4 into 2, but they were only like a couple of weeks like this after
Yeah.
one another, and now they're doing
Yeah.
the 3 split, which is cool. That's fine. I like this a lot too. You can tell that the Duffer Brothers are feeling sentimental about it. Like nobody knew who these guys were, and then all of a sudden they are leaving for Paramount for this massive deal because they created one of the biggest shows ever.
Of all
Um,
time, yeah. Franchises, yeah.
yeah, and hearing David Harbour reflecting on it, but also the kids, and seeing that the kids, especially the main four boys, are finally going to be back together, it seems, for a lot of this final season, I think is huge. And I think that's, we'd been talking about it with Star Wars on TRB this past week. John Boyega was saying how he would have made sure Han, Luke, and Leia were together in the sequel trilogy. I think those, not wanting to always bang the drum of fan service and also trying to keep your audience guessing and trying to be too cute sometimes leads these studios to make decisions that end up not aging well. And like not to do Star Wars too much on this podcast, but having Luke not being able to be with Han was, I think, tough, and it gets tougher to think about because then we're never going to see that again. So I think they're realizing this is it. We started with these four boys. That's all this started with. We got to get them back together. And I think that's really great that they're doing that.
I think all the fans want that too. Like I'm sick of watching all my heroes get split up all the time, because the thing that made the show work so well and what made it so memorable was what they were harping on about childhood and the innocence of it, the adventure of childhood, which we all can connect with. That's why all these coming of age stories always connect so well with everyone. But also the dynamic between the boys and how fun their friendship was, the personalities, obviously the nostalgia of the 80s, but just them being together was super important. And I think that the only way you can finish this show is if all of them are back together, which, I mean, I hope nobody dies. It would be miserable.
People are going to die. There's no doubt about that.
People are going to die.
I still think it's going to be Jonathan. I don't think they're going to kill Steve. I think Jonathan is going to die. I don't know why. Because I think I think all the four boys are going to live. That's what I think.
I think Will's dying.
I think Eleven's dying. I think Jonathan's dying. No, they can't kill Will. Then the whole show is just the torment of this boy. He gets no joy. He finally decides I think I'm ready to come out of the closet. And now they're gonna kill this kid. No, they cannot kill Will. That would be horrible.
He's the only thing. Basically, him and 11 are what's tying this thing to the human world.
Well, she's gonna do the whole sacrifice. Jesus,
but she's already done that. What, twice? Yeah, we're gonna do that again.
Yeah, especially with her connection with Vecna now, Henry. The one thing I did find interesting, unless I just am completely forgetting it, speaking of Vecna, Jamie Campbell Bower was not featured in this. We saw Vecna in the suit walking, but he wasn't interviewed. And
wasn't. I wonder if it's because he's in the makeup and they don't want to spoil anything. Maybe. It takes I think he said it takes 8 hours to get into it or something like that.
Yeah, but you got to imagine we're going to get more flashbacks of Henry too, where he's not in the makeup.
But maybe the day that it could literally be the same. That's why I'm saying Sean Levy being in the interviews, it could have been Sean Levy's episode. Maybe Vecna's not in that episode.
Yeah, because almost everybody else was featured in this thing. All the side character kids and everything, even Mike's mom.
Nancy wasn't though.
Yeah, she was.
She was? I don't remember her.
She had
was
the
Robin?
Big, poofy 80s hair. I don't know if they interviewed her.
They showed shots of her, but I don't think they interviewed her.
Yeah. But I like this. This looks cinematic. This looks huge. This looks really big. I'm really excited for it. Yeah. And I'm also excited knowing that this is the end. This isn't because, sort of touching on what you were saying before about them dragging it out. It's it has been dragging out, but the productions do take a long time. COVID screwed things up. Trying to get a lot of people's schedules together. And it being more like a movie production, I think it's harder to turn them out every year. So I do understand that. But with every season that came out, there was always that narrative oh, look how old these kids are now, or oh my God, I forgot everything. Now we're all at the end together. We're going to watch it. There's no need to worry about when's the next one going to come out? We all know this is it. And I think there's some sort of calmness to that, approaching this from a fan perspective. It eliminates some of the fatigue we would have post season 5, waiting for a season 6. This is it. It's all on the table here. And I am hoping that Eddie lives and he's some sort of vampire metal guy, because he was my dude, the metal kid, the outcast, but the girls still like him. that's my guy, man. So the fact that they
Chrissy, wake
show him,
up.
I agree with you. And then also that they have spray painted on the locker, Hellfire Lives. I don't know if that's Eddie's locker or whose locker that is. Obviously, the Hellfire Club can still exist post Eddie Munson, because we do see Mike wearing the shirt and maybe he takes over as the leader of it or whatever. But
Yeah.
there's something about that character and the theories I've been hearing about it and how he was bit by the vampires. He was still in the Upside Down. It would be really cool if he came back, in my opinion, and I don't think that
It
would be
would be.
bad at all. Because I'm going to talk about Joseph Quinn a little later in the show and not be as glowing because
Oh, no.
I have seen Fantastic Four. So
Oh, no.
I'm a fan of the guy,
I
but
didn't see any good things about him in that movie.
I'll give
We'll get
my
into it,
take on
though.
Fantastic Four a little bit later in the show. But that
Great.
we'll talk. I mean, there's a lot more Stranger Things to talk about. We'll talk about Stranger Things probably every week as new news comes out as we get closer, because we're about only less than 2 months away from the return
Mhm.
of Stranger Things. Very cool.
Yep.
But now it's time. A short segment today, but let's get into the news.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough, I get the point.
We should just rename ourselves the James Gunn cast because every week there's something else. DCU or
He's the
James
only
Gunn
guy
related.
cooking right now.
He really is. He's the only one with the lights on. So he gave some loose updates on the upcoming DCU Batman. Now, to be clear, this is not the Batman 2 or the Matt Reeves Batman or Robert Pattinson. See what I did there? Not that Batman. This is the Batman that would be in the same universe as the Superman, Supergirl movies that are coming out.
The DCU.
So he was on the Tom Segura podcast and he said, quote, "There are different ways to access the character. It's not a matter of the blue and the gray or the black suit Batman. I like Detective Batman and the fighter Batman. I like the silly Silver Age Adam West Batman, but I like all these different versions. Reading the early 70s Neil Adams Batman comics that were dark and grittier, I said, oh, I like this Batman. I like that universe, which also includes supernatural elements." So the question is, John, do you think that's the Batman he's going to lean into to complement the hopeful, colorful Superman? What do you think he meant by these comments?
I think the thing that struck me the most is, well, one, I can't help but love James Gunn because when he talks about this stuff, he is earnestly talking about it as a fan, as a nerd who really loves this stuff. Because we've seen we go over director interviews and actor interviews all the time where they have to act like they know so that the fans don't
Oh
get mad at
gosh,
them
when
and
they
stuff.
get quizzed and they're wrong, horribly wrong.
But James Gunn is the guy in your friend group who knows all this stuff, even if you think you do. And it's clear Batman is his favorite. He has made that very clear. And he even said casting Batman, even though it's his favorite and you would feel there'd be more pressure, is easier to do than Superman because Superman needs to have a very specific look to him. Whereas Batman, you can get a little flexible with it because he's hiding behind the cowl. And I never really thought about it that way because I always thought, well, Bruce Wayne, but he's right. So I don't know what we're getting for Batman. I don't think it's Brendan Sklenar anymore with all these comments he's giving about how it's easier to cast Batman. I don't think he's just going to then say, I don't know who to cast, so let me cast the guy who wants to be Batman. I think it's going to be someone else. I think it might even be a lesser known person, but we'll see. Famous people do don the cowl, as we've seen more often than not. But so I looked up this comic he was talking about. So it is from the 70s, and it is like one of the first, like really like sort of darker looking Batman comics. And he has long ears. He has the white eyes. They did introduce that in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, but it was more for like this techno vision he was using. They could do
Yeah.
something with that. I think we are going to get a very dramatic, theatrical looking Batman suit with a very long cape, long ears, and have that menacing eyes and look to it. And the other main thing that really stood out to me was him saying the supernatural elements is what he really loved about it, because then you could introduce things like Clayface, or Ra's al Ghul using actual magic and curses and dark magic and things like that. You're not limited in the way that a lot of current audiences have felt limited by Batman, which I love. The Christopher Nolan stuff was great, but it's a very grounded, what would the world be like if it existed as it is, but Batman was here? And I totally got that, and I love that. And Pattinson, very similar. It's more of a detective noir type story, but also grounded in that way, dark. But James Gunn can do anything he wants because he's opening up the DCU. Look what he did with Superman. I mean, he opened that up to, pocket universes and stuff like that, and got really wild with it. And he can, if Batman's in this DCU, he's gonna know about this and experience that too. So Batman, we're gonna be able to see all the things and crazy things we've seen throughout the comics, throughout the Batman animated series, which they're already saying they're loosely basing the Clayface movie on. So I am so excited about his version of Batman because, one, James Gunn makes good movies and he makes good comic book movies, and he loves Batman and he's going to take care of it. And the fact that he's also writing, and I don't know if he's directing this yet. I know the guy who directed The Flash, which stunk, was originally attached to doing this. I don't think he's doing that anymore. Andy Muschietti, I think his name is.
Yeah.
I'd be fired up if James Gunn directed Batman. I know he's directing Superman Man of Tomorrow, but we'll see. Either way, he'll put someone right in the chair. But I have a lot of takeaways from this, that he is going to be leaning into the supernatural stuff, and I don't think Brendan Sklenar is going to be Batman. I think it's going to be something a bit different. But I'm excited with the approach he's going for with the story with Damian and that take on Robin, and he's probably going to have Robin in this, and it's not going to be like Chris O'Donnell. It's going to be like
Chris
kid.
O'Donnell. I
like
thought he
Chris
was
O'Donnell
great.
too, but I think it would be cool if like Robin actually was like a kid. Like I think that'd be really interesting.
Oh, like a teen, you're saying?
Yeah. So this all just really excites me. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope we learn sooner than later who's going to be playing Batman, because it's probably going to be a long time till we see the suit, and that's also the second thing that gets me excited about Batman. So
I had such a crush on Chris O'Donnell when he was in Batman.
Really?
Yeah, I remember having such a crush on him. Like, I thought he was so attractive. Now this is like 3rd grade, 4th grade me, so like I don't know,
like
5th
8th.
grade. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was like, he's very handsome. And then he like didn't do anything much after. I know he like went into TV more, which is fine, but like he didn't really do any more movies. He did that one movie I remember seeing in the movie theater where he gets chased by all those women. Do you remember that movie?
Oh yeah.
Crazy. All the brides. I don't remember.
Yeah, what was that? Oh.
But I saw it in the movie theater. I vividly remember seeing it in the movie theater. I feel like it came out when I was in high school. And I think I saw it because I was like, oh, it's Chris O'Donnell. Like, I love
The Bachelor. Yeah.
The Bachelor. That's what it was. Oh, man.
He had to find a bride by his 30th birthday to inherit a large sum of money.
Yeah, so like all these women were like, I'll marry you. And he's like, oh, God. But anyway, back to Batman. I would not be surprised if this Batman logo on this comic book, which is the wide yellow letters that are in the shape of a bat, that ends up being the logo for Steve. Oh my God, Steve. Why am I saying Steve? James Gunn's characters.
Who's Steve Gunn? Is there a Steve Gunn?
I don't know where that came from. Like my brain just threw it out there and was like, yeah, his name's Steve. And I'm like, no, that's not it. Anyway, I feel like that is going to be the logo for Batman. It looks very James Gunnish.
That would be cool. It's old school. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, especially because he did the very old school Superman logo with the suit and the trunks and everything. I feel like that's the route he's going, is like, what is the nostalgic stuff that people look forward to, that people want to see, that people remember, that they connect with. I think that's where he's kind of grounding his DCU. And like, what did we fall in love with? We fell in love with these things. That's what we're going to continue on with. And the fact that he shouts out, Neil Adams, R.I.P. He passed away sadly in 2002 or 2022. I met him numerous times. He was like the nicest guy.
Oh,
He was
really?
at every Comic-Con, yeah. I have a bunch of, pictures where he wrote to Lacey from NEEL on them. He
Oh,
drew,
that's so
like
awesome.
yeah, he drew a Katniss, print that he signed for me and a couple other things. He was so, so sweet.
Did he do Hunger Games stuff?
He drew like extra prints and stuff of other pop culture type stuff. So at his table, he
Ah,
would
okay.
have like Batman prints and all this other, but then he had a Katniss, so I bought it from him. He was so sweet.
That's
Um,
cool.
very, very nice. And I think I interviewed him at one point. I used to have a website back in the day that I did like nerdy stuff on, and I think I interviewed him for the website because he was so willing to talk to me.
Can we get an archive on that? I'd like to go through that for note taking.
Sure. I'm sure I have the
Okay.
file somewhere. He
All
was
right.
very, very nice. Um, but yeah, I like that he's giving that shout out because we were talking about the Matt Reeves Batman and how perhaps that's being based on the Court of Owls story saga that was Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. So I just really love that while these characters are so beloved and people are going to like them no matter what story you end up telling with them. I think there's just like a very drawn connection with who people love superhero wise. I like that they're going to the people that have told the best versions of these
Mm-hmm.
characters to get input, to maybe perhaps consult, talk
Or
about
just
what
be
they've
inspired
done,
by.
or
Yeah.
be inspired by. Yeah. So it's great to see that name here, and I think he would appreciate it too. Yeah,
I
I think
think
it's just who James Gunn is. He's like, "Why would I tell a new story when it's already been told in a really great way and I can be inspired by these things?"
yeah, he's definitely gonna pull from a lot of these things. And then I'm looking up more of his artwork for Batman. Um, Neil Adams, that is. It's the gray suit with the blue cowl and cape and the yellow belt. I think that's what James Gunn's gonna do because
I'm
if you
telling you, I
think
think
of
he's gonna go retro with it.
yeah, and because Superman had the trunks, I think Batman's gonna have the trunks. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be that gray with the blue cowl, but they're gonna use shadows a lot, so they use the lighting appropriately, so it still looks menacing.
Mhm.
Man, I am so excited for that because I love the black Batman suit, but it's been
Done.
it's been done. I mean, they teased the gray suit in the Flash with Michael Keaton's Batman. They like showed he had the blue and the gray one, but every Batman movie he had the black suit. And Affleck had the gray, whatever, the dark gray. But if you do the gray and the blue, it will be fresh. It'll be new. Get the white, the yellow logo in the center too. The
I
yellow
think he's
utility
doing
belt.
yellow. Yeah.
It's probably going to be a boxy belt, even. Like I think he's going to go for it. And I'm also very curious to see what his choice is with the Batmobile because that's always a point of contention. I know people are
Mhm.
always very curious about it. The 1989 Michael Keaton one is still and will always be my favorite. That car is sexy as all hell and is so awesome. But I think he's going with the gray and the blue suit, and I don't think your boy Brennan's going to be playing Batman.
My boy, or are you saying general? Because he's not my boy. He was your boy.
General, yeah,
General you.
yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
Well, continuing on with our second story, like we said, we didn't have many stories this week, a lot more trailers, but Kenan Thompson is developing a biopic for Macho Man Randy Savage, who I know
Yes,
from Spider-Man. And
got you for
that's
3 minutes.
Bonesaw is the only reason I care about this biopic. And I always
Oh
said
my
that
god, that's insane.
the bone saw, like the cardboard saw with the tinfoil on it, I was like, that would always make such a good Halloween costume, like being the crowd person with the saw. That is my favorite part of Spider-Man. I don't care what anybody says. That scene is my favorite scene
Oh yeah,
when he's like, Bonesaw is ready. Like that, my favorite scene in Spider-Man.
he's juiced out of his brain.
I say weeks ago, we talked about movies we quote. I got you for 3 minutes is something I say all the time. And especially with
Yeah.
my best friend, we say it. Oh, I got you for 3 minutes. Um, so what's your thought? I don't know it, Randy, outside of that. That's what I know
Oh
him
my
for.
god, I am
Sorry.
so excited for this too
Okay, go
because
ahead.
I grew up watching wrestling when I was a very little kid in the late 80s, early 90s. I was like, they call it the golden era. And that was when like Hulk Hogan was top of the world. Everyone loved him. Macho Man
Mm.
Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, all these guys who like just paved the way for the Stone Colds and Rocks and John Cena's. And Macho Man Randy Savage was always like this villainous character, but he was so good. And he was such a great athlete because he actually started, he was going to play pro baseball. He played like minor league baseball. He was drafted by like the Cincinnati Reds or something like that.
Oh, really?
And yeah, he was a great baseball player. And he ended up not going that route. I think it might have been due to an injury. And then he found pro wrestling, and his brother was in pro wrestling. His brother was the genius back in the golden era of pro wrestling. And he has co-written the script for this. His brother, Lanny Poffo, he wasn't as big of a star, of course. Macho Man's one of the greatest pro wrestlers of all time. But his brother had passed a couple years ago, so it's sort of like a posthumous thing at this point for both now. But the fact that his brother got to write it is part of what gets me excited because they were close. Anytime he talked about his brother, it was never in an envious way. He always talked about him admirably. And I think he's going to tell an honest story too, because there was a lot of darkness with that old age of wrestling, cocaine, steroids, womanizing. And I think they're going to probably tell a very honest story, but also showcasing what an immense talent that guy was, because he was so entertaining. He was so captivating in the ring, but at the same time, probably just as good, if not better, on the mic, because I could watch Macho Man clips to this day, and you're like, that guy was out of his mind, but man, was he good on that mic. Because I don't think wrestlers are as good as that today. They use scripts, and they're usually a little like kind of cheesy. That dude was on fire, man. So, and the fact that Kenan Thompson's doing it, I had no idea he was a huge Macho Man fan, and I love Kenan Thompson. So, I'm definitely gonna check this out, and if it comes to theaters and I'm available, I will be there. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Nice. I just love that Kenan Thompson's gotten to the point that he's just doing whatever he wants. Like, he's been on SNL for so long, and he's
Is
been
he
in
still
so many
on?
commercials. He's like the voice of the Universal Parks now. Like, he does all their commercials and stuff, and he's done all these
Yeah.
other, like, I will always fondly remember him from all that and Kenan and Kel. Like, that is what I grew up on. So that's what
And
I know him from.
he runs that fast food joint too.
Oh, he does? I didn't know that.
Good Burger.
Oh, you're an idiot. I thought you actually meant that he ran a restaurant. He might. I don't know. You're an idiot. Fun fact, my little sister made Kel's curtains in Good Burger too. The pattern that they use on his curtains of burgers is made by my little sister. That's my claim to fame.
Nice. That's very
That's
cool.
my connection to Kenan Thompson. Yes. So I'm just excited to see him be so successful because he was one of those people, like growing up, child actor, that I was like, he's so funny. He's so good at what he does. And when he finally got to SNL, they're like, oh, Kenan Thompson. I was like, he's from all that. He's already done this. He did
Yeah.
this already. And
Yep.
everyone was like, Lacey, shut up. No one cares.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
care.
he was Mighty Ducks. He was the Knuckle Puck.
I didn't even care about that. I cared about all that and Kenan and Kel. Oh, here goes. That was my jam.
All right.
Let's get into what we are watching.
We could never leave the house and would just probably sit around all weekend and watch TV.
Go on.
All right. So Lacey, let's get to I'll talk about my other stuff, then we'll talk about the paper. Even though I didn't finish it, I'm close.
We don't have to. We talked about it last week, so we don't have to talk about it again. I finished it
at length, but
it's great.
Yeah, I want to get
excited for
okay. Did it end well? Where you're like, I am looking forward to season 2? Was it a good?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Very good.
Any
ending.
romance?
Yep.
Any romance without spoiling anything? Oh, okay. I think I have an idea. All right. What else have I watched? Well, I'll start. Obviously, a lot of people who, if you listen to our podcast or follow me on social media, my favorite guitar player of all time is Dimebag Darrell from Pantera. They just put out this series on Hulu called Into the Void, which covers a musician and their life and stuff like that. And the last one was dedicated to Dimebag Darrell, who was shot on stage. He was murdered in 2004 while playing a live show. Shot in the head 5 times. Died. Broke my heart. Devastated. His brother was his drummer, so he watched his
Why
brother
did he get shot?
Dishonorably discharged Marine who had schizophrenia. his mom bought him a gun for some reason because she thought it would make him feel better. And
Oh,
he
God.
had diaries where he thought the band Pantera was stealing his thoughts and making songs out of
Oh.
them, and he didn't want the world to have his thoughts. That's what they claim. So clearly, a mentally unstable person had psychotic thoughts. And if anyone knew Dimebag, I interviewed his brother. I was supposed to interview him. Nicest musician in the world. Loved everybody. Would have a drink with everybody. He was a fan guy. I'm still upset about it. 20 years later, I'm still very upset about it because they would have still kept going. But anyway, this documentary was so great because they interviewed everybody involved with Pantera. They interviewed everybody involved with his wife Rita, who's carrying his legacy, and it's 48 minutes. And if you like heavy metal, there's one on Randy Rhoads. There's a bunch of on other musicians. But the Dimebag one was really good, and a lot. If you're a Pantera fan or a heavy metal fan, it was 10 times better than the behind the music they did for Pantera on VH1. That was complete shit. So check this out. It's on Hulu. It's called Into the Void. Dimebag Darrell. Highly recommend. Rest in peace, Dime. And then I watched Fantastic Four. I finally watched Fantastic Four. I thought it was decent. I didn't think it was great. I thought the visual effects were good. Also not great. There's, I don't think this is a spoiler because in the trailer they reveal that she's having a baby. But
Yeah.
the CG surrounding the baby is really strange to me. The CG baby in general was very odd to me.
It was a real baby.
They also use the CG though. They use a real
they
baby.
do?
And the CG parts, you're like, yeah, I don't know if I like this. It's kind of strange. But also, my two other criticisms, and I know people are gonna be like, John glossing over James Gunn in DC, and now he's gonna attack Fantastic Four. That's not it. I love Iron Man. There's a bunch of Marvel movies I really like. I'm just being honest. I didn't think the chemistry was good between the four actors. I didn't buy it. By the end of the movie, I should have felt like those four people would do anything for each other, and if you would feel the connection between all four of them, and I didn't. I didn't.
Which
feel
I
the
got with the
chemistry.
original, by the way.
What you think they did in the original?
Yeah. Chris Evans and Jessica Alba.
Oh,
I thought they were great
I
brother
agree with
sister.
that. Yeah, there was good charm there. But I will say Vanessa Kirby, very flat to me.
Everybody said she was so good.
No. She had a great
Oh.
part at the end. I think she was underused until the end of the movie. She has a massive, massive point at the climax of the movie that really allows us to say like, all right, she got her screen time with that big moment. But I didn't even buy the romantic chemistry between Pedro Pascal, who everyone thinks is this romance god, and Vanessa Kirby. I also am sad to say, and I teased this earlier, Joseph Quinn was not funny, and he was supposed to be comic relief, and I didn't see this in the theater, but I imagine, and let me know in the audience if you saw it in the theater. I know a lot of our listeners probably did. When he was dropping those classic Marvel one-liners for Johnny Storm, I didn't laugh or chuckle or anything, and I like Joseph Quinn, so I was rooting to like this version of Johnny Storm. Let me know if you saw this movie in the theaters. Did people laugh at his jokes? Because I didn't, and maybe it was because I was watching by myself. I don't know.
I can't get it out of my head when you watch Gladiator 2, which also has Pedro and him in it, and you had said, I don't want to be this person right now, but I feel like we jumped too quick on him because he got such a big push after Stranger Things.
Did I say that about Gladiator 2 also?
Yes. You said
no.
You said that Joseph Quinn was so good as Eddie, which I agree 100%. He stole that season. He was amazing. And because of that, because he became such a fan favorite and he's everywhere, everybody's talking about him. Oh my God, Eddie, blah, 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 blah. That every company, including Disney, goes, we need to get this guy in our movies. So they put him in Gladiator. They put him in Fantastic Four. And you're going, I think we went too quick. I think we were too quick to jump into the next roles.
And I think he has talent, and I think he's a good actor. I just don't know if those were the things for him. And
it's interesting.
I was disappointed because I was such a, like you were saying, I was such a fan of him as Eddie Munson in Stranger Things 4. Like, I felt like he was like representing all of us metal kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was, I guess disappointed about Gladiator 2, but this one, I don't think it's his fault. I just don't think it was that good of a movie. I really don't. Um, I thought the visual effects for the villain Galactus were those like I was in awe of that. I was just like, wow, let me just like soak this in. This is
How was the music?
pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
It
I
was
don't
Michael Giacchino.
yeah. I always have to watch a movie or something multiple times to really pick up on the music. That's just how I always
Yeah,
am.
yeah.
But good. I will say good. I won't say it's like anything that stands out to me like with Lost or with the Batman
Batman.
or
Yeah.
Rogue One.
Or
But
Incredibles. That was the
yeah,
thing
but
that I
it's
was like, they were like, "Oh, he's doing Fantastic Four." I was like, "So Incredibles?"
yeah. So I love Michael Giacchino, so
Me
I
too.
assume it's really good. I just wasn't my brain wasn't focusing on the music. But
Sure.
for Fantastic Four and for me, I'm always about the first thing is paramount for me is always the characters and the relationships between the characters and if I buy into that and I didn't buy into it between the four of them. I think the best out of the four was I always mess up his freaking name.
The
Ebon
Thing.
Moss Backrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, who plays Ben Grimm. He was funny and he was also really good and he was multifaceted in terms of his personality and character. I think Ben Grimm the Thing was the best part of the Fantastic Four, and I thought Ebon Moss Backrack was great. The other three not as much, and as a collective I just did not buy into the chemistry. And for a movie that's the Fantastic Four, that's about these four people and the family that they have, that sinks it for me. So
It's
it's
tough too
good,
because they're, like,
but
leading into Avengers.
I know, and it was okay. It was
How was the
okay,
end
and
credit scene?
um, what was
That
the
is
end
Robert
credit
Downey
scene?
Jr.
Oh yeah, that was fine. It was very quick.
Mm,
Yeah, Doctor Doom shows up. You don't see him though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I, do wanna bring something up that I was watching, but I'm gonna be honest. This is a weird scenario for me. There's been this series that's been trending like crazy over the past year or so called The Summer I Turned Pretty, and it's a
I've
book
heard
from
about this
Jenny.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a book from Jenny Han, who wrote, All the Boys I've Loved Before, which was on, Netflix, which I had watched the first of that series, and I really liked it, and I thought it had a good soundtrack. I didn't really watch the rest of them, but that's where, the guy that's playing Ken from Street Fighter, and he's doing the new Rambo movie, Noah
Oh,
Centino,
he,
that's where he came from. Came from that movie, amongst
okay.
other things, but that was kind of his big
Disney.
break.
Yeah.
Um, so she did this movie too. She's an Asian writer, so her main characters usually Asian girls that are in these kind of love relationships, rom-commy, choose one boy. Like it's always which boy should I choose? Typical YA stuff. Like somehow in YAs, the main character girl is always stuck between two guys. Like two guys are always fighting their way to be with her. And so this show has been everywhere. Like it's all over the place, all the time on the internet, everywhere. The finale just came out. And the characters are older and they have a big sex scene, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, they're doing it." Which is a big deal when you're watching YA shows because they never actually get to that point. But when they do, you're like, "Oh my god, they're adults now." It's like that big turn. Which now they announced also that they're making it into a film. It's going to be a movie that comes out on Amazon. Um, I just find it interesting that I have never watched an episode of this show, but I know all about it. I know the people in it. I know how much people hate certain actors and like other ones and all these things because I see it constantly flooding my feed, flooding TikTok, flooding because just people constantly talking. And it is just this interesting phenomenon for me that I feel like there is a lack of separation between actors and their characters. And it is bizarre to watch. Now, you and I, John, as older individuals, people that are married, have children, are older. Yep. We're not so tied into this stuff. But I remember in my 20s and especially in my teens, like being really connected to fictional characters and being like, I really am involved with. It is wild watching people interact in those fandoms online in those spaces
Oh, you
because
think?
yeah, because it's insane to me that the way they attack other human beings. Like one of the boys, I'm not calling him a boy because he's younger than me. I'm not saying he's a boy because he is a grown adult, but he plays a teenager in the show. This kid that isn't the one that gets chosen was being attacked online by one group. And then one group was like, well, this show's so stupid, she should have chosen him. And then they're attacking the real life people and they're creating these narratives out of like a glance someone gave on a red carpet and an interview question someone answered on a press tour.
Lacey, this
And
is the
it's,
same thing as
I
the
understand
Reylo
that.
stuff.
I understand with Star Wars too, but it's just crazy to me that companies want this type of attention around their actors. It's not healthy. And I have to admit, it kind of makes me want to watch it. But at the same time, but at the not be engaged in that activity. But I just want to be like, what is this show about? Because I keep seeing it everywhere. But the other thing too is I guess the author wanted Taylor Swift songs in the show, so they used a bunch of Taylor Swift songs. So then the Taylor Swift fandom's involved. I don't know. It's just getting really crazy. And I remember you had told me, I think it was last week, and I think you told me this on the phone and not on the episode, but I'm going to repeat it anyway. You said to me, Lacey, I saw this thing online that said that we should unplug the internet for a year, just reset as a collective group.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't seriously mean that. But at the same time, I think one of the healthiest things that I've done probably in the past few years is this past summer doing other things, going outside, gardening, getting into cooking. And while those sound boring, and yeah, I'm not getting influencer PR boxes anymore because I'm not constantly sharing my life everywhere, I feel like I'm a better person because of it. So when I go online and I see these spaces where these things are happening, as an outsider to this fandom that I know nothing about this show, these actors, anything about it, I'm like, what is going on? What are we doing, guys? You wouldn't say this in real life. What are we what are we creating here? I do want to make one other note. There is a shot that's been going around of the girl in her room in Paris. And she has this, of course, beautiful apartment in Paris. No normal person would get this apartment.
Is she a writer?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the show, but
she's probably a writer.
But she's in the bedroom of her apartment and she's got the windows open and it's clearly like an older apartment from Paris. It's like in this beautiful kind of like quarter or section of Paris. The bed is in front of the windows and they're like opened. And the way I was looking at the photo, I was like, but she can't shut the windows with her bed there. So are the windows just constantly open in her room? And I got severely annoyed, John, because I was like, the production person clearly didn't think that through of like, well, it looks good this way, but then it's not functional. Like, is she going to move the bed every time she has to shut the windows? What if it rains? What if it's windy? What if it's whatever? Now, I've never been to Paris. Yeah, there's no bars or anything. It's just wild. Now, again, you're talking to someone that loves the show, Emily in Paris, so eventually I'll get there. I'd love to go to Paris someday, but I don't know why. Why is her bed in front of the window? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I might have to post this photo and be like, am I being stupid? Like, why is her bed, why she can't shut the windows? I'll probably get hate. I probably won't post it. I'm probably not going to post anything.
Maybe it's so she can be visited by Elphaba and then they could sing together.
And you'll find me, I'll look to the western skies.
All right. So Lacey, just for the record, for the archivists of Nerdy and Nice and TRB, Lacey rolls up to What You're Watching saying, I have nothing. And then she goes on a 10-minute monologue about a show she hasn't watched yet. And that's the power. That's the power of YA, folks. The power.
It was more about the power of taking a step outside of communities and fandom spaces when they don't provide healthy exchanges.
I could have, yeah. I mean, I could have told you that 8 years ago, roughly.
I understand that, John. I'm not taking away from your experiences. I'm just
Oh
saying
my
it's weird to me as
The
someone that
trauma.
has stepped away from being online all the time for my own mental health, to then step inside of certain events taking place online like this show, The Summer I Turned Pretty, where I'm like, I have no idea what this show is. I don't know.
I will.
And just seeing the comments people are making about these young people. They're not big movie
I,
stars. They're not
mm.
adults.
No,
They're
I
like
get it. I
barely
get it.
adults. It's just like you
Um,
could really ruin people's lives. Like, let's remember what we're doing here.
I will never forget that woman who paid to win something so that she can interview Ryan Johnson, and then she like almost like stalked Adam Driver at all of his appearances and like made a soap that she said smells like him. And like I remember commenting about it saying, like, does anyone find this a little just like concerning? And then I got like annihilated by all the people in that camp, and I was like, oh my god, I'm out. Anyway, it is a wild
Yeah.
scene. I'm glad I'm not in the scene. My best to everyone in the scene, and yeah, everyone
Just remember, when you're exchanging with others online, one, nobody reads text the right way. Everybody reads text separately. It's all about perspective. And two, you're probably arguing with a bot.
Oh yeah, 65% on Twitter, on X. But speaking of which, Lacey, where can people find you to talk to you about all this?
Yeah, if people want to come find the Western skies, find me online at Lacey Gilleran, at It's Lacey Gilleran on TikTok. Like I said, I do take more breaks than I used to, if people are wondering where I am, but I do chime in from time to time and share what I'm thinking about pop culture, Star Wars especially. I might have to post this Paris pic. It's really bothering me because everyone's like, "Oh, look at the way she's acting with this boy," and I'm like, "Okay, but why is her bed in front of the windows with the windows open? Like she can't shut the windows." I might have to post it. The summer I turned annoyed at the windows.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Board
have a
them
good
up.
day. Have a good day.
Yeah, for me, Johnny Hoey on Blue Sky is the best spot. X occasionally. Yankees are headed to the playoffs. So
How did that happen?
they went on a run late in the season. I do not credit their manager at all. I think he lost them a lot of games this year. But October baseball once again for the New York Yankees, and my New York Giants season has probably already come to an end because they're 0-3. But
how's your fantasy football going?
It's going great. It's going great. I had a huge day yesterday for my team. I'm imagining. But yeah, all right. So you want to extend the podcast a little longer. So Lacey currently, after 3 weeks, is one spot ahead of me in the standings, even though we have the same record. She's scored like 30 more points than I did. But we'll see what week 4 has to say, so that maybe next week I'll be going,
My favorite thing is I text you, I was like, "So what does this picture say?" And you're like, "I don't know, whatever." I'm like, "You give me nothing. Nothing. No fun.
I was probably in the middle of working or something.
No enjoyment. No, it was at night. It was after hours.
Well, I could have been doing other. Yeah, who knows? Could have been working.
I just get nothing. No sold by John Hoey. Just
No,
like,
but
"Hey
then-
man, haha, friend, we're playing fantasy football. Am I right?" And you were like, "Go F yourself."
So yeah, I was like, did you use ChatGPT on draft day? I was like, she's gonna be so mad at this, but
Here's me trying to be a friend. Trying.
No, you were trying to brag because you're ahead of me in the
Common
standings.
ground.
Let's not. No, come on. But no, you're doing well. We're both doing well, and we'll see what week 4 has in store. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the end of the show. We did all our plugs already, so we'll be back next week with another episode of Nerdy and Nice. If you're a TRB patron and you're supporting us for both our podcasts, if you didn't get a chance to check us live doing our watch along of The Nightmare Before Christmas, it is on the channel there, so you can watch it and pop us on and watch the movie with us at any time. And we'll have more watch alongs in the future, in addition to a lot of other bonus stuff on our Patreon. So thanks to everybody who's been joining. But that's it. We're gonna get out of here.
TRB live this Thursday.
Have a great week, and I was gonna get there. And we have
Okay.
TRB live Thursday. What time, Lacey?
8:30 p.m.
8:30 East on the PM. We are back live talking Star Wars with you in the chat. So we hope to see you there. So have a great week and get ready to party Thursday night with us as we always do. But until next time, we'll see you around, kids.